Today we're going to check out the current revision of my test bench. I believe this is version 5.0, 4.0, who knows, but it doesn't matter. Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, I just want to be the greatest.
Let's start with the simple stuff. It's just a 4-drawer cart. Now, I could have used the Harbor Freight one, but I happened to pick this up on sale for like $150. So, you know, it's about 50 bucks cheaper, and it works for what I need it to do. On the top, I've got one of these self-healing mats that I just cut the size to fit so I don't scratch up the top as I'm testing amps on it. And obviously this is my work surface. If we open it up here, I don't store a whole bunch up here because I'm often using the top, so it's not useful to me to have things in this spot that aren't accessible once I'm into the top. One of the modifications I did make was taping down the drawer locks because I need to be able to open the drawers whenever I'm testing an amp, obviously. That being said, I've just got the basics in the drawers, stuff that I may use. Lugs, fuses, fuse blocks, zip ties. On this side, various tapes and a set of crimpers. I have a bunch of voltmeters and clamps in here. And in the bottom, I've got my crimper, miscellaneous wire, some more RCAs, a battery charger, etc. Now let's get to the fun stuff. So let me show you my little computer case. Now to get it up here, I mounted a cheap little shelf to the side walls right here. That allows me to set this off to the side, and then, you know, some good old bungee straps here to hold it up top. It's simple enough, it works, it makes it mobile. I've used this for a while. This is an Xera head unit that I got off Crutchfield. It's done pretty well on the test bench, had no issues with it. Now, these right here are load banks. I have two 8 ohm 100 watt resistors on here, and then two 4 ohm 100 watt resistors on these pair. This pair right here is switchable, so I can go from 4 to 1.5 and 1 ohm on this, and it's switchable by this panel up here. I just flip these switches I need to get the impedance I want. Basically, the way it works, they share a ground, so as I flip these switches, it just connects them in parallel. All the resistors are stored in here, wired up, and then I have the RCAs running out, of course, so I can have signal. I don't currently have this fan hooked up. I could do this fan, I could do more fans if these got hot enough, but they survive the 5,000 watt NVX, so I think they're gonna be okay. These resistors actually hold a lot more power than they're rated for. From the test station to the battery banks down here, I have a separate battery hooked up just for the test bench right here. I've got a little sparked excess power meter here, and it just lets me know where the voltage is on this. And over here, I've got my 48-hour spin bank hooked up to an ultra cap bank. That is providing the battery power portion of the test bench. When I flip it around back, you will see the actual power supply. Here is the power delivery portion. Right here, I have the conductor to read the amperage. Over here, I've got an SMD fuse holder. Super nice fuse holders. This is a marine grade relay and can be used as an on and off switch, and that's what I do. This is how I get power from the batteries and ultra cap to the fuse block up here. I don't have to use this. I can use the power supplies, turn them on and off, and they can do all the power without having to have the batteries in series. But with most tests, it's nice to have the batteries hooked up. And this little pigtail here helps us get power to the display for the conductor. And on the back side here, we have the power supplies, two PowerMax 100 amp power supplies. They're both hooked up into a power strip that's capable of 15 amps. I have blown one of these power strips when I just try to get full power out of these. So I do have to be a bit careful when I'm really pushing these power supplies to the limit. But they're basically just wired up in parallel, and they go from these blocks over here into the main power feed, and I just simply use the on and off switch here to power these up. Now let's check out what I think the coolest part of the test bench is. Here is the display portion, and this is one of the main reasons I redid the test bench. I wanted to get all my information in one shot for the camera, so I have the AMM-1 over here, the DD-1 over here. I have the conductor amperage display here, a sparked voltmeter here, and then a button for remote turn on. This was kind of a mock-up, but I wanted to go ahead and use it and plan out how I'm going to do this in the future. I'm going to go with a little bit bigger, may change up the voltmeter. So this is still revision 1. I'll improve it as time goes on. So here's the back. There's quite a few things going on. One thing that I do need to add to this is just weight. Weight to hold it down and keep it steady. You can see it'll hold itself up, but if you move it a little bit too much, it just wants to tip forward on you. So that's something I will be changing in the future. But we have simple plugs going on here. This one is what gives us our amperage readings from the conductor. This plug here gives us power to the conductor display. It goes from our small blocks here into the power delivery system over here. So as far as this bundle of wire here, we have two things. One of them is test leads that are wired straight into the voltmeter, and I can go straight into the wire with these. And then we also have a remote turn on that's hooked up to the switch here. So that's it. That is the test bench as is. The display piece we talked about up here is somewhat of a working prototype, so you will see this change in upcoming videos, so expect that. Everything else I think is pretty good. I like the setup of having the batteries and caps down here. It keeps them out of the way, and it leaves me plenty of room to expand if I want to in the future. So if there's any portions of this test bench you want me to talk about in a future video, whether it be the head unit setup over here, the batteries, the power delivery side, the power supplies themselves, let me know in the comments below. And with all that being said, I will catch you on the very next video. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters, but the $6 or more members get a special shout out, and that is 2001 Monolithic, Gene Nava, Joaquin Juarez, El Fuego Audio, Travis McClendon, Brandon Hanna, William Berg, Boxboy Audio Sound Solutions, Jesus Tires, Dennis Cromwell Jr., Scott Dilbeck, D. Stewart, David Kozlik, Scott McCord, Matthew Tolberg, Cornut, Trucker 9000, Bobby Burkett, Kevin Lautner, James Childers, Baba, Thomas Marshall, Living Loud with Andy, Neil Nato, Chris Cogburn, Lars Madsen, and Old School Stereo. For as little as $2 a month, you can join the Patreon team and get exclusive Patreon-only content, including a monthly Patreon-only hangout stream. It's a really good time. You guys are missing out, and if you want to join, check me out at patreon.com/HifiVega.